with audio? We can't hear you. So I've started the broadcast.
Yeah.
I have to Slack her just to say that we can't hear her.
I'm gonna chat her through the
Okay.
that usually works. The chat seems to always work. She's had audio problems in the past. I thought she had fixed that, but maybe it's recurred.
What machine is she running? Do you know?
What? She's on a Mac.
Okay.
As am I. I usually have no problems with with audio.
Maybe she
I've
just
had
needs to do
recent,
a software update.
perhaps, yeah. Very possible. Oh, looks like she's going to try to connect again. So we'll give her a second.
Anyway, back to politics.
What's that?
But do you think, back to politics, do you think Hillary will be a good president?
I think she'll be good. I think she has a potential to be great. I like her. She's a smart woman. She's tough. She's resilient. She's overcome a lot, both personally as politically.
Yeah.
And she's quite intelligent. And I think she does have the interest of the American people in her heart, you know. I really do, and that's shown by her career. Whereas this guy Trump has done nothing but enrich himself and work for himself and his family all of his life. So I don't know where his supporters see this presidential person who really cares about them. It's not supported by evidence in his past life, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of people are just stupid. I have to say it. They're just stupid, and they don't think, and they're low information voters and no information voters, and there's a ton of them out there. I don't know if you have the same thing in South Africa.
So
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, we should probably start. Maybe Tongwei's not going to be able to join. I don't know, but let's give this a shot. So now that we're on tape as discussing politics, we'll have to move off of that. We probably violated some rule or something. I don't know. Anyway, Laura, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this weekend, I spent some time working on the download feature and getting the resume to download to my local machine. I actually paired up with Michael Fair, who was part of my boot camp because he wants to start getting involved now. So we paired up and we did some work on it. So we managed to get a file to download.
Yeah.
But just a text file, which it's not the resume itself. So maybe we can look at that after stand up.
Oh. So you expected to see a PDF or a doc file and it's coming in as just plain text? Is that what's happening?
It's plain text with the root part, with the path in it. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what's happened. So I've managed to download a file, just not the resume itself, and I've managed to get it to download, clear, and then delete off the temp file.
I see. Okay. Interesting. All right. For myself, we had the client meeting on Friday morning, which went well. We reviewed our progress. We did a demo of things we'd completed over the past 2 weeks. We asked the client to go off and think about how he categorizes resumes or categorizes jobs that he searches for his job seekers and that he fulfills for his employer clients. And I had suggested that he go and talk to some of his employer clients, in fact. So he mentioned GM, for instance. So he's going to go talk to his contact there, to find out, hey, how they categorize resumes or job seekers, or jobs in particular. We need that because, as you know, our classification scheme requires us to define categories, and then we train the system to say this category for this type of job looks like this. And a resume that matches that category looks like this. And that's how it works. We train it and tell it what the categories are. And then it learns and can deal with new resumes and categorize them appropriately if they fit any existing categories. If not, all bets are off. So anyway, he's hopefully be working on that. I created some stories, found a couple of bugs, 2 or 3 bugs in the system, just getting ready for the demo for the client, which is not atypical. You know, you start to see little things you hadn't seen before. I reviewed some PRs, and I queued up voting for this morning if we can get a quorum. If not, we won't be able to do that. Here's Tong Wei again. Hopefully she can hear now, and we can hear her. Hi, Tong Wei.
Hi.
Oh,
Hey,
you're
Tong Wei.
back.
Okay.
Tong Wei, we just went through our status. Do you want to go ahead and give yours? Thanks for restarting your computer, by the way, and retrying.
Okay. I just finished the PR review for 440 story 440. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't the story yet. Yes. That's all. Sorry from my side.
You broke up a little bit there. You completed the review of the comments on this story. Did you have any question about the comments?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
Okay. Well, why don't we? So that's your update then. That's where you're at this point.
Yes. I've already updated the pull request.
Oh, okay. So why don't we stop the stand-up then? I think we've done the status update. What we can do then is switch to you, Tong Wei, and go through your story. And then Laura and I will be doing some pair programming after this on her story. So do you want to go through the question or questions that you have?
My line is not that stable, I think. The connection is not stable here for my for now.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I said, do you
can
want
post it in
to?
the chat.
Yeah,
What?
Laura was asking if you can post it in the chat. Do you want to share your screen and go through your questions or question?
Question. I don't have question for now yet.
Oh, you don't have question.
Yeah. I've already submitted the pull request review. Then I think right now is I just submitted not long ago. So yeah, I've done that. Yes.
Okay.
Create another story for the address, the job seeker problem. Yeah, address for job seeker.
Oh, you created a story. Great. Thank you. Good. All right. Do you guys have some time to do some voting on stories then? And then we
Yes.
can get, okay. Tong Wei?
Okay.
It shouldn't take us too long. So I will, okay. I'll share my screen.
Just while you're busy doing that quickly, I just want to ask, on the Met class, can I just do a work in progress pull request? Because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you absolutely can. I'd say just title it like WIP colon or something like that so we know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that would be actually great. That's something we should be encouraging all the time, in fact.
Okay, great.
So I've done that for more complex stories, just get out there and start getting some feedback.
Okay, great.
So yeah. Okay, so let's see, where am I here? I had some stories queued up for voting. Okay. So let's go through these. So this is a story that I noticed when I was getting ready for the demo for Friday, where an employer can go in and reject a job application. And the job application notification, the email and the pop-up on the window, the browser, is supposed to go to the job developer, and I think the job seeker's case manager as well. So I didn't see that happening, and the problem is right here. It's if you look at the pusher code, it is looking for some user ID that looks like AP for agency person user ID, but I'm sorry, that's the event code. So when we create the event to send the message to the pusher, it's setting this variable in this JSON structure using AP user ID as the variable name, whereas the JavaScript in the pusher channel bind method or function is looking for JD user ID. That should be AP user ID. So that's basically the story. I don't think there's much to it beyond that. I don't think any. We have to make sure that tests are sufficient. That I'm not sure why a test didn't find this. Actually, you know what we should do? We should add a cucumber test to make sure that the browser of the job developer sees that pop-up. In fact, I'll just do this. Add Q test. Had such a test, we would have noted this. We just changed the code to make sure we deliver the notification to the job developer's browser or case manager, whichever is appropriate. And we confirm that in a cucumber test in the appropriate feature file. So that's it. So why don't we vote on that? Let me put the link into Slack. And I'm not going to stop sharing my screen because I don't want to go back and forth between that and sharing. So I'll just do if you guys get ready to vote, I'll just do the countdown, then I'll put my vote in Slack. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. I'm assuming Tongwei is too. Okay, so I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
We've lost Tongwei.
Well, she's showing online.
Sorry, I think my connection is that bad that my Slack is still not connecting yet.
Oh, you can't even see Slack? Or did you see the link that I posted for the story?
Yeah, I see your screen. Yes.
You do. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll wait for your Slack to catch up. So, if you looked at that story, what would you have voted if you could have voted? Tongwei, what was your vote on that?
I will just follow you guys with 1.
With a 1. Okay. Good. So we will do that as well then. So this is the next one I'm going to talk about. Go back to this guy, give it a 1, and see.
I think it's the same. Oh.
Sorry?
Is this the same thing?
Well, the next one is 456. The previous one is 457.
Okay.
So here, this is a fairly simple problem as well. So let's see. So when a job application is accepted, and also when it's rejected, but let's just talk about job app accepted first. That means the employer goes to a job application and says, I accept this. That basically signals that they intend to hire the job seeker. So what happens then is the job seeker's job developer and case manager are supposed to get notified of that. And again, notification is email and pop-up. The problem that we have here is that if the job seeker's case manager and the job seeker's job developer are the same person, which is possible, then we're seeing 2 notifications for that event. So we're seeing 2 pop-ups occur in the browser. Presumably, we're also seeing 2 emails. They're basically saying the exact same thing because the notification doesn't differentiate between role. It just says this job seeker's been approved by this employer. So all we need to do is just basically go and add some logic that if we see case manager and job developer the same person, just send one notification to that single person. Just send one email and one pusher pop-up. So that's basically it. So with that, why don't we do the countdown then and go ahead and vote as well. Again, there might be, we need to change probably one line of code. There may be some tests we need to augment. But in this case, I don't think we do because it's tough to, well, anyway, let's just say we just need the code to change. So there's only one notification. So I'm going to count down. Everybody ready?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, another one. And Tongwei still seems to be lagging there. Tongwei, I don't know if you can hear us.
Yes, I've sent the one to the group chat.
You did. Okay.
Oh.
It's taking its sweet time getting there, huh? As usual. All right, great. So let's look at the next one then. So that. Okay, so this is another one that I noted when I was I saw when I was getting ready for the demo. Let me actually just cue that up. Just see my screen. Oops, that's not the right one. Let me get the right link here. How come that's not popping up? Go back to. Okay, so this one here, 458. So an employer can go in and reject a job application, and there are two places where the application can be rejected. One is the job applications view, which is a view of the job and then all applications to that job. So it's like, here's the job, these are multiple applications to it, and you can reject or accept an Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, okay, that was bizarre.
But your,
'Cause I might,
your screen's not sharing though.
yeah, nothing on my side said that I had lost contact. That's bizarre. Thanks for letting me know.
Thank you.
So anyway, there's two places where the employer can reject the job application. In one place, when they reject, and in each case, they need to enter a reason for the rejection. That's one of the client's requests. So they want to know why the job application was rejected. In this particular, the first place the employer can reject the job, it comes back and it doesn't add any more decoration or text to the pop-up window asking for the confirmation of rejection. It just turns the text red. And I guess that's meant to indicate that you need to provide a rejection reason. The second place where the employer can reject the job application, if they click reject and there's nothing in the rejection box, no text, we put up this little error display. Please enter reason. And so it's a little bit clearer here what's going on, whereas if you just come back and everything's red, not entirely clear what happens. So what we need to do is have this particular method, this particular pop-up, show the same error for not entering a reason for the rejection. So this is the right way to do it. This way has got to be updated to reflect it looking like that if there's no reason for rejection. So that's basically it. So there's going to be some, I think, some JavaScript side work to add this failure mode and reject, or send the updated element to the DOM to show this error message here. There's probably some test changes that have to occur as well. We have to confirm that we are putting this up on the screen when there's no reason entered. So it's got to be thought through. So that's basically that story. So is everybody ready to vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'll do the countdown and then we'll just go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, cool.
We're in sync today, Patrick.
What do you know? That's good. Tongwei, are you okay with a 2 on that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So let's do that. And, all right, great. So that's that one. Let's look at this really quickly. Some of these are pretty trivial. Let me queue that up on Slack. Okay, so this particular story is, let's see, let me remember what this is. So this came out of, one of the things that came out of the review, the UX review done by Sam. There is a box for when you're editing an agency person where you can assign job seekers to that person in their job developer role. And above the box, it just says something like job seekers for job developer role. Then there's a box with names of job seekers with a checkbox next to each name. And he pointed out, well, that seemed kind of ambiguous. What do you want the user to do here? So maybe that text should say something like assign job seekers to, you know, John Smith as job developer. So that essentially is it. So it's basically just changing a label that sits above a box with a bunch of names that you can select. That's all it is. I'd show you it, but it's probably more trouble than it's worth. I think you get the idea. Unless anybody needs to see it. Okay. All right, so let's queue that up and vote. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right. I think, Tongwei, you're good. I know you're going to be good on that because it's a trivial change, but there's probably a cucumber test that refers to this particular label itself, text. Like below this label, you should see this type of thing. But again, that's just changing some text in a cucumber step. So why don't we do a 1 on that, Tongwei? I'm assuming you don't need to connect up unless you differ with this assessment. So we're going to give it a 1, which I think you would be okay with as well. So let's go back. What else have I got here? This is good to get all these little stories out of the way. 449. Okay. So this particular story is another fairly simple one. In terms of what has to be done. So when we're in a form, any form, if we always have a cancel button for the form, the cancel button should send the user back to the prior page, the refer, if you will. And so there are some places, at least one place that I found where that's not happening. For instance, here in, I think it's branches, the branches edit form or create form. There's a link, the cancel button itself is linked to a particular URL. And that's set by a view that's called, before it calls this partial. So the problem is that cancel URL, that the place that sends the user may not have been the page that the user was in before they went to the edit branch page. So that really ought to refer to refer or something like that. I forget the exact code, terminology for that, but it should refer to the refer. In other words, when you cancel, go to the prior page is what we need to. I didn't check all the forms, but part of the story is to look through all other forms and see if there's anything anywhere else where we do something like this, as opposed to redirect to the prior page. So that's essentially what's going on with that one. And why don't we vote on that then?
Okay.
So there may be a little bit of test changes in here. So we need to be thorough, catch all the forms where this error occurs, see if any tests fail because we changed the behavior of the system. And that's it. So I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, cool, great. Tongwei, I'm hoping that you're in sync with that. I would assume you would be. If you aren't, check in. If not, we'll just assume you're good with that. All right. What else do we want to do here? Okay, there's one more I'd like to do, and then we can call it quits on the voting for today. So this one here takes a little explanation. So we are going to be moving for mail delivery from Gmail as an email server to this service called Mailgun. It's like other servers, like SendGrid is another big one used in a lot of AV projects. But anyway, we're using Mailgun, for various reasons. So as I noted here, this story is gated by 4.14. 4.14 is currently underway by Arun to actually implement Mailgun. I know as of yesterday, he was in the process of getting that done. I think there was one last question he had, which I deflected to Hua to get the answer for that. But hopefully he's got that in place. But anyway, this story should be ready to go, ready to be worked on fairly soon, the next day or so. So one of the reasons I like Mailgun is they have this validation JavaScript package that you can use in forms that enter where the user enters an email address, and that's defined or described in this particular GitHub page. And what it does is it does a bunch of checks. It doesn't just do format checks for email. It does DNS validation, which I think also means it looks and makes sure there's an MX record in some mail server somewhere that says, I am the email server for this particular email address, for this particular domain. So it does that. It does spell checks. It also accommodates specific email provider grammar, if you know what that means. I can show you that in a minute. Let me see. So here's, you get a good idea of what it looks like from doing something like this. So if I'm John at, let's say, it'll do did you mean as well. So let me show you what that means. So I misspelled Gmail here, and I say validate, and it comes back with did you mean at gmail.com, that kind of thing. So if I say no such email, hopefully there's no email. Yeah, so it doesn't find an MX record. It finds no mail server that is available to handle email for that domain. So that particular validation occurred as well. So it does some pretty cool stuff like that. So again, did you mean? Does it also? It does things like that. If you guys are familiar with, use my own address actually. So my Gmail address. So with Gmail, they accommodate the ability to add a plus after the first part of the email address before the domain and add anything you want. You know, in case you want to keep track of where you enter your email for a particular service, if you want to keep track of whether they're selling your email, you can add something like plus, you know, the service name. And then I will say at gmail.com. That's actually a valid Gmail address because Gmail, particular specific to Gmail, they ignore anything past the plus, to the right of the plus, until they get to the domain. So I'll validate that. This address is valid. Now, if I did that with, I think Yahoo would not accommodate that. That's not a grammar. that Yahoo supports. I think Yahoo does other things that are unique to them in terms of how you can manage your email address name, but Yahoo doesn't do what the grammar that Gmail supports. So this is a JavaScript form. We need to implement this on our forms to verify the email address in place in the form through an AJAX call, rather than wait till we get back to the controller and validate it. And I think it'll add a lot of value because email is really critical to us, getting email right. So that's essentially what this story is about. So we good to vote on that?
Yeah.
I think we're good. Okay. All right. I will do the countdown and then we'll go ahead. So 3, 2, 1, go. Great. Since it's a new service, Mailgun, and this is a capability of theirs that we have never used. We have to do some JavaScript stuff, so there's a little more complexity there as well. We'll have to add a few more tests. I think 3 is appropriate for this. And Tongwei, hopefully that's good with you too. If not, let us know. If you're good with that, then no problem. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop. Oh, there we go. Yeah, she's been voting there. Excellent.
Sure.
Tongwei, did you agree with the 3 on that last one?
Yes.
Okay. That actually strikes me as a story that you might want to take. But anyway, we got a lot of stories queued up. What we're going to be doing next, later in the week, maybe on Friday, we're going to be voting on stories having to do with job to resume matching and resume to job matching. Again, I'm holding off a little bit on that till we get some of this other stuff out of the way. But that's kind of the last big push for major functionality required for MVP. So we're getting there. I guess that's about it then. So Laura, you and I can continue to look at your story. Continue on. Tongwei, we're going to switch over to doing pair programming, Laura and I. You can hang out if you want. You can leave. It's up to you. But anyway, we've now got some stories queued up. So when you're ready to go after finishing your current story, hopefully you can choose 1 or 2 or 3 of those. A lot of them are just, as we noted, trivial, so they'll take very little time. So Laura, you're sharing your screen, I see, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's do that.
Okay, so I played around with so many different scenarios that I had researched. This one was where I got a file of sorts to download. It doesn't prompt me yet. It doesn't prompt, actually it does prompt me, sorry. So it asks, well, save the file. And if I click save, then it just downloads it for me. If I open it up, it's just a text file that shows this line.
Okay, that's weird. Actually,
So this was public as per a tutorial that I found. I just changed it to temp, but it made no difference.
Okay. So I think before we get to trying to send it, I think that's what we decided you were going to do, right? You're going to try to see if you could actually send the file, right?
Yeah.
You could just invoke path on the resume file itself as the path. So this is the signature for the send data method. It takes a path to the file. Application, what is that type doing there? What does that mean?
Where?
Line 65? Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. What is that?
It was actually it was quite interesting. I found a tutorial on YouTube, but it was in Arabic, so
In
I didn't
Arabic, huh?
understand. Yeah, so I just followed his code. Because when I first had it, I had application PDF /doc/docx. So what I kind of figured out here is that it must only download one file type.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
I haven't
So
tested it. I don't even know if I had to put 0 there, what would happen, or 2, or it was just something that he had done in his download.
got it. Okay. Let me get oriented. I should have done this before. So do I have your branch pulled? I don't actually. I don't, because I don't think you've posted it to your repo yet. That's okay. Let me just get oriented here on my side.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Must I send you the link?
No, that's okay for now. I'll just look at the. I just want to look at some code here. Let's see. Let's see. App. What did we see an example of download? We had it in company mailer, didn't we? An example of download. Yeah. Okay. So let's just focus on trying to get that temp file for. We don't need to. We'll have to actually rename or create a file name from the temp file. We'll have to copy the contents to another file, but let's focus as you're trying to do with getting the send file to work.
So
yeah.
I had put that code in that you had posted on Waffle, and it did nothing really. So,
yeah.
but I haven't played around with it more.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we need to. Let me see now. Let me bring up. Tell you what might be helpful to is if you do post your your repo to GitHub, and then we could do Gitpong.
Yeah. Let me just quickly
That
do a
might,
pull request.
yeah, it might be easier for us to be sharing screen. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab another cup of coffee while you do that.
Problem.
All right.
Sure.
Yep. If you can post the URL to your repo, Laura, that'd be great. On say the Hangout chat.
Okay, I've created a pull request. Just quickly go here.
Actually, you don't need to create a pull request. You could just post.
Up to time. Yeah, but you can
just
now.
post
The
your feature
new
name.
features now. The new feature is very cool on Git.
Oh,
where
cool.
you can just pull down my branch and pull up. It's all syncs now. It's very cool. Let me just find this.
Okay. Yeah.
Where's my repro?
Too many. We all have too many windows going all the time, don't we? It's hard
I
to find
know.
stuff.
And then I find stuff and then I'm too scared to close it because I think, oh, maybe I'll need it just now.
Yep, that sounds very familiar.
Okay, there you go.
Oh boy. Yeah, okay, great. So
That's 445.
yeah, I'm having trouble getting the, okay, there, got the URL now. Let me put it in. Oh, I forgot to give it a name. Should do that. Okay. Now, I can, I have to relink to the video again. Let me just do that real quickly. Bear with me here. What's that? Okay, so the feature branch is called NetPlus Tracker 4.5. I'm sorry. Is that?
445. 445.
Okay. Fetch everything from your repo, and let me get that. Okay, get. So it's named 445 underscore download. Right, okay, yeah, I see that. Great, good. Okay. Right. So I do have your repo here.
You're going to share your screen?
Yeah, I need to, excuse me. So I have this problem where in Safari, if I move off of the Hangout page, if it, then I lose the URL to the Hangout and I can't get back. It's a weird thing in Safari. So this is going to be strange for you, but can you take the Hangout link that we opened this Hangout with and post it to the MetPlus channel so I can grab it and
Sure.
get back to the visuals? Yeah. Yeah, looks like that. That looks right. Okay. Great. Thank you. Back in business then.
Great.
All right. Let me. So the controller we're looking at is job applications, right?
Yeah.
And it is download resume. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have a resume file. Send data. Let me look at the documentation on send data real quick too.
Okay.
I didn't have time to really prepare for this. I should have
No,
get
don't
acclimated and
stress.
all that, but all right. So can send data, the first argument to send data is the data. Can you actually give that to a, excuse me, a path to a file for that to work?
Well,
Or,
most of them, if I looked at, let's see, there were so many different scenarios. So if you look at my screen,
yeah.
this is the one that I used, a bits of it, which helped me start the file download. Because
Okay.
all the other scenarios I used, so similar to this, they didn't work.
Okay.
It would download to the temp folder, but I wouldn't get it to download or prompt me to download and save.
Okay. So let me open temp file as well. So while I'm doing that, let me do my branch. So do I need to do, you didn't change any database structure. Hopefully I don't need to do them.
No, I
Okay.
haven't tested any.
All right. Let me see if I can actually bring up your app. Okay, I'm going to log in as an agency or company contact. Do that. And I go to applications. I got to go to Tom Seeker, don't I? Yeah. It's the only one with an app or resume in there. And I say download resume. Okay, it does. Actually, that didn't pop up a confirmation for me. My browser didn't. What browser are you using, Laura, to develop this on?
I'm on Chrome.
Okay, I'm using Safari, and it did download something, but it didn't prompt me whether I wanted to download it. So that's something else we can worry about later.
So
but
yeah, so I remember that now because Michael is on Mac and it just downloaded on his.
Just downloaded. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'm seeing this. Sorry, so I'm seeing the same behavior as you. So let me see. Let's put debugger in here, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So actually, I probably should restart my my app just to confirm. Okay, let me do that. Just to confirm that the debugger is going to kick in.
No problem.
Taking its time to exit here. think I've got too many things going on. I've got the whirligig of death here. Fine. Gosh. My laptop seems to have major problems this morning.
So there's something in the air. The planets must not be aligned, because even our internet was so slow this morning, and my computer has been like on a no-go. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah.
So if it's if in America, if it's happening to you, then it's definitely the planets.
Must be. Well, at least it restarted finally. So let's see if I can. We can play around with it a little bit. I want to keep that. Unfortunately, I want to keep this window in the background because I need to know if I drop. Like I said, I've had instability problems with Hangouts lately. So let's look at this. So let's see. All right. So what have we got? We got this thing called resume, and it is a temp file. Great. Let's just see if we can see. It's going to be a lot of stuff coming at us, but let's just see if we can. Is that too far down for you to see? Might be.
No, good.
It's okay. So let's see if we can see its contents. We should see. Ooh, close stream. Okay. Now, why would that close the stream?
Maybe.
Resume file. I guess it starts life as closed then. So let's. Okay, now let's see what it looks like. Okay, so it's a bunch of binary stuff here. This is not text at all. And if I scroll to the top, which is going to take a long time, I think this is a PDF. I think Resume 1 is a PDF on our backend cruncher.
Yeah.
I just want to confirm
Well,
that.
if it goes down to the temp file, let me just see what it was here.
Okay, so you see I scroll to the top of this whole disgusting thing, but you see it says %PDF at the top, so we are getting all the bytes for the original PDF, which is good, which is what I wanted to see. So it's coming through intact. And then we are doing this path send data. Okay. So I suspect that. Okay, so let's just try this. Let's rewind it, keeping it open. And let's just, for the heck of it, let's do something like send data. Send data up. And then we've got to do what here? We've got to set type. What would be the, I think the story itself talks about a possible type. Let me look at that. Yeah, so we got, Where did I mention that? I know I commented on type somewhere.
I think that was in 4.4. It was that the other one that I was working on. 4.27 was the where you spoke about the different types.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here I'm talking about disposition, not type, right? Okay. All right. So send data type defaults to octet stream. If omitted, get it from the file name, extension supplied in file name. Okay. So file name, if we give it a file name that looks like myresume.pdf, we don't need to give it a type because it'll infer to PDF from the file name. Excuse me. So I don't want to do this yet. I want to figure out how I'm going to actually get, yeah, that is a problem. So resume file, is it base name? Resume temp file. Let's go look at temp file. And temp file, I can get a path from that. I can also invoke methods because temp file is a type of file. So I can also invoke just file methods as well. So let's look at file. So these methods are also available to me, and base name is a class method, not an instance. That's indicated by the double colon there. Let me see what I have for instance methods. I got these. Yeah, okay, so I probably want to use the class method base name. Let me look at that. So I'll say file dot base name, give it resume file. So there's the name of the file. It doesn't have a type, so that's going to be a problem for us. So, so let's go back to, yeah, so that's okay. I think we can get the name, the original name of the file. So yeah, okay, great. So what's resume ID? It's 1. So I'm going to get the whole record, and resume has this name in it. So that's what I'm going to use. So we use that file name. Just to confirm, dot file name attribute is great. That's exactly what we need. So let me just make sure that resume file is still open and rewound. So it's once you read it, it's positioned at the end of the file, so you have to rewind it to the top of the file to read it again. And now let's see, are we ready to so
Patrick, your mic keeps muting.
it does? Oh. That's not good. Okay. Well, I'll keep track of it by
keep
looking
going.
at, yeah, okay. So we're going to read the file. That's going to be the data stream that send data is going to use. Going back to send data options, we're going to give it a file name, which is the one we got too many damn windows going here. And that is going to be our resume. Original file name is entered by the user when we stored the file resume. There's that. Disposition specifies values are inline and attachment, which is the default. I'm going to go with the default, leave it as attachment. And I don't think we need anything else. So this is the data stream, and that's the file name that you should use for the data stream when you deposit it on the user's browser. And I think that might, well, let's see what happens here. So does that, but on the browser, where's my browser? Where do I have that? Do I have it over here? No, I saved it over here. Okay, so I will continue in the debugger. All right, double render in Java applications download resume. At most once per action. Okay. Not sure why that has happened. Let me take this debugger out and just run it as is then. So let's do. Oh, yeah. Application went haywire on me. Where was I? Oh, shoot, I gotta get to the top of that. All right, so we did this, I think. Let's that. Let's play with this. Set that there. Open it up. Send data. We had a file. Read. And we had May name. Yeah, okay. I'm going to close that window because it's really annoying. And let me go back here, reload this page. All right, so why is this telling me resume is not found? Okay, let me see if I can go in. App.
Do you not have to put that disposition there to make it download? So disposition inline.
Yeah, so what it said was value or inline or an attachment default. I thought we wanted attachment, which means give it to the browser and say this is an attachment that needs to be downloaded. Inline means the browser, if it's a PDF, for instance, so the browser is configured to show PDF files inline, which most browsers are these days, it'll show it in a browser page, which we don't want. We want it to prompt for a file download. And I think that's what attachment does. Okay. So let's see if I started. Yes, I have. Let me see. Over here, the debugger will stop. And resume. Okay, so we have a resume, right? We do. Okay. Oh, it's great. How do I find the size of a file? Let's see if I can figure that out. So file itself, size. There is a size. So 88,840 bytes, which sounds about right. Okay, so here, this looks okay. So we'll, oh, well, let me just execute this by itself. Maybe I can't string methods like that together. No, that seems to work okay. All right. So this is the send data, and it's raising an alert. It's raising a an exception. Why is it raising an exception? Okay, so let's do this. Yeah. So we need to figure out what exception it's raising. So we'll just copy in here to allow us to look at the exception. We'll just give it a value E. And we will continue on here with this failure, which is fine. We'll go back to here. We will execute this again. Stop in debugger. So we know this is all good code. We have a resume. Yep, same one. We have resume file. And this will fail. And okay, so next is exception. No implicit conversion of symbol into integer. Well, that's not very helpful. No implicit conversion of symbol. Okay. So let's go Google the heck out of that. Anything we run into, you bet that other people have run into it, a lot of other people. So what's this guy doing?
There's a lot.
Yeah. There's usually too much. That's the problem, right?
Yeah. So many.
This has to do with working with a hash. No implicit conversion. Hashes of arrays. This seems to have a send data thing there. Doing send data. Okay, let's do specific to a specific gem there. Okay, that's not very useful. Yeah, I think this is our problem here. Yeah, I think that's a problem right there. I think that might be it. Okay. So Okay. Contents are encoding. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I am? Am I still muted?
No, you're not anymore. Are you?
Okay, that's just bizarre. So I want to find the encoding of a file. How do I do that? How does one do that? I think it might be. Okay, that's not going to help me. Okay. F8. So is that send data require a particular encoding for the data to be sent over? Wrong one. Get back over here. Where's that window I was looking at? Not that one. You can specify either a string or a symbol for the register type. With MARN type register. Yes. Wait a minute. Well, I don't know if this is our problem, but I'm actually just add in the file name here, but I don't actually assign that to one of the variables for the options. So that was a stupid mistake to do that.
It happens.
That's one of the, yeah. So we've got data, we've got file name set. The type we don't, because the file name includes the file type itself, PDF or doc, etc. So type will be inferred from the file type extension in the file name itself. Disposition, the default is attachment, which is what we want. So let's finish this debug. It'll fail, of course. Let's go. Did we save that? I did save that code, so let's do this again. Download. And we should be good for all of these steps. We've already checked them all. The file takes a little bit, which is to be understandable. Now let's go. And look at that. We didn't get an exception. The problem is that, so actually, let's just continue here. And on my browser, it actually just popped up the file. So that's interesting. So my browser connection says when you're prompted to download a PDF, open the app that can view the PDF and show it to the user. So that may be a Safari thing, specific to my Safari setting, specific to web browser. But anyway, we are getting the file. What's that?
Do you not have Chrome that we can test quickly? Or
I do have Chrome. In fact, that's a good point. So let's do that. So hi.
Patrick.
I don't know what's the problem here, but
No, I think when you closed Safari, because you quit Safari and then it closed the Hangout.
But I thought that was a separate window. Was Hangout part of that window? I just closed the window, not the entire app. But anyway, I don't know. I've had problems with stability of Hangouts for the past week. It's not good. No, not at all.
It's all good.
So let's go to our app here. See what happens. Oops. Local host, right? And 3000. So let's log in as our company person. Background. Actually, do I still have the debug statement in there? I'm going to comment that out for now. Put it in there. And I'm going to restart the app just to make sure that I don't statement this time. Let's do that. And okay, we're good to go there. Going back to Chrome, let's go back, find an application. There's our friend Tom Seeker. Download resume.
Want to share your screen?
Oh, what's the point of doing that if you can't see it? Yeah, don't be shy about reminding me, because every time I have to reconnect, I always forget.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry.
Can you see it okay now?
Yes.
So what has happened is I'm in Chrome. I went to view the application for Tom Seeker, who's got a resume. I hit download resume, and then I see this download dialog box. So found it. It's got the right name. It actually picked up the fact that it's a PDF, as shown here. And now it's just asking me, where do we want to put it? So where I'm going to put it is on my desktop. So we'll save that. I already had one because I downloaded it earlier in Safari. So do you want to replace? And I will replace. So anyway, says it downloaded it. So let's go look. What's that?
You make it look so simple, and I spent I spent like so long.
Well, we'll go back to the code and talk through it. So let me open. This is the thing that I just downloaded in Chrome, and there it is. You know, it's a PDF, came through Byte Perfect, and we're all okay. So how did that happen? Let's get out of here. Let's go look at the code. So I don't need debugger. I can also save this. I don't need this stuff here. Again, actually, you know, the whole business about renaming the file, creating another file, and giving it the name of the original file name, and then copying the contents of the temp file to that new file, we just proved that we don't need to do that. So this is good. This is great. So we're a lot further along than we thought. So anyway, up to here is everything you had before. The send data, let me see what we got. So send data, it doesn't take a file, it takes a data stream. So that was one of the problems. You were trying to give it a file, a path to a file. So the reason it didn't work is it expects a data stream. So the data stream we gave it was we have the resume file, we open it, and then we read it. That just spits, as we saw, 88,000 bytes. If we open that in the Rails console, the debugger, you just see the whole content. So that's the data stream that send data requires. And then in terms of this other business about what file name does it give it, etc., it says here an option is file name, and we want it to be when we present to the user the option to download, we want it to be with the file name as specified by the original creator, PDF, doc, etc. But so we could specify type, but it says here if you'd give it a file name, and the file name basically includes the file type or the file extension, send data will infer the type. So it'll be PDF, doc, etc. And it'll name the file with that type on the browser side. And then we want to prompt for an attachment download as opposed to inline, which we saw Chrome do, prompted for an attachment download. So we're going with the attachment for disposition, which is the default. So I didn't specify it in the code since it is the default. And then we don't care about status. So that's basically it. That worked.
So simple. Thanks, Patrick.
Well, it's simple.
But I did learn a lot, though. I learned a lot, though.
It's simple once you, I mean, it wasn't simple to me when I was first looking at that. I was going down the wrong, and this is why those stories, I should probably stop expanding too much on the story because I get beyond my knowledge of the code. And all the stuff I put in the story about you can't send the resume, the temp file directly because we have to make sure it has the right name, etc. All that's wrong because of this little magic. We can give this thing a file name, and that's how it's going to be delivered on the browser side, on the user side, which is beautiful. That's easy.
Cool. So do you want to just check that it deleted the temp file from line 67? I added that.
Good point. Good point.
Ensure resume file close, resume file unlink. So let's see if it's.
So what have I got in my temp? So these guys here are from other playing around with temp files. So I'm going to delete them. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is we'll just leave that open so we can look at it. Let's do one more. So I'm going to clean things up. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. So we'll go back. And what we're going to do here, so I'm not going to, oh, shoot. So we want to see the temp file appear and then be deleted, right? So the problem is that if I don't have a debug, it may happen so fast that we may not. No, actually, it'll be there while it's waiting for us to answer the dialog box. Yeah, good point. Okay, so let's do that.
Sorry, yeah.
All right. So let's do it all again. So it's now prompting me for this. Now, why am I not seeing the file in temp here? Shouldn't I see it there?
It didn't. Maybe it doesn't need to go to temp. Hmm.
Sorry.
No problem. I think maybe it doesn't need to go to temp.
Well, I think it does. It's got to put it someplace because that's where this method puts it into temp.
Do you want to share
And
your
then,
screen again?
yeah,
Thanks.
I can't say this method without you being able to see that. So this method puts it into temp. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run this thing in debugger. And once we return from this method, let's see if it's in our temp directory.
Okay.
So to ensure we've got the right thing, I'm going to restart Rails app one more time. Sometimes it doesn't pick up the debugger hook if you've started the server and you put it in there afterwards. Sometimes it doesn't see it. So we're good. We're back to Chrome. We will download. We're not getting prompted yet because we stopped the... Why am I getting prompted? Okay, so it didn't stop at the debugger step. All right. Okay. So that means I need to probably do the start. I did save the debug. Oops, you know what? I didn't save it. That would do it.
That helps.
It always helps, yeah. Okay. So our app is running. Let's go back to Chrome. Let's download yet again. I'm not being prompted now, which gives me hope that the debugger stopped. It did. So let's go through this. Download the resume file. Okay. So I don't know if you saw what happened. If you see on the left side of my screen, can you see that?
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yep. So that when we executed this statement, that's when this file appeared. So we did confirm it's doing that. Now, to your point, let's continue on. I'm just going to say continue to the debugger, okay? Go back to the debugger. I will answer Chrome, and you can see it deleted it here. Did it delete before I clicked OK on the dialog box?
Yeah, it deleted
That's
before
what I
you said
thought.
okay.
Well, that's interesting. So I guess that's innocuous because, you know, it's waiting for me to respond, but it's already, actually, that's okay. It's already passed all the data to the user's browser, and then it can delete it because then data comes back and says, I'm done. In the meantime, the user's browser is waiting for the user to answer, where do you want to put this file? That's okay because the browser's got the file.
Yeah.
So that's, we don't have to wait for the user to actually say, download it here in the dialog box. So that's working as we want. So that's great. So I look into why Safari is, actually what we saw is Safari is saving the file automatically. I have a download location, automatic, so it doesn't have to prompt me on Safari.
Yeah.
And then Safari evidently also says, well, this is a PDF. I'm going to open it up in the PDF application and show it to the user. So that's all good too. But it did get downloaded in Safari to my default download location, which is my desktop. That's what I saw. So that's working. So yeah, if you have Firefox, you should play with that as well and confirm it's going to work. Do you want to do it right now?
If you've got time, I know that you only said you had half an hour, so
yeah, that's okay. Let me get the debugger out of there. Do you want me to save this? I guess you don't. We only made the one change, right?
Yeah, save it. Yeah, save it and push it.
Okay, I will.
It's fine.
I will do that. So let's.
Are you going to push it up to me, or are you going to just push it up to your branch?
What I'll do is this. Let me see. Where am I? Let's see. My branch that I'm on is Lara 445 download resume. I can't push it to you or your repo because I don't have write access to that, nor vice versa.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I will just push this up to my repo.
Okay,
Its name is going to be your feature branch name, except I've got Lara dash in front of it.
That's no problem.
So it's that. So it's available.
Do you want to send me a link to your repo?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me do that right now. Let me go look at not that. This guy. Oops, hit the wrong link. This one. You want me to do it on Slack?
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I'll do it on Slack. I might do better there. Okay, so that's the link. And one last thing to do this morning. Let's go ahead and do this in Firefox, as we thought. So we'll bring up Firefox. Firefox defaults to just opening the app itself. So I will do some clutter here. I'll log in as company contact again. We'll go to an application, this particular one here. We'll go see the, okay, so now I'm in Firefox. It says it's connecting. Just stop for the debug. Oh, I still have the debugger in there as far as the app goes. So here, back to Firefox. And it's giving me a dialog to download the PDF. Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, it says you can open and view it or just save it. So, and if I
Explorer?
save it, yeah, so it saved it to a default download location. I can't do Internet Explorer because I have a Mac, and Explorer IE does not run on a Mac. So if you have a PC, it'd be good if you could test that too.
I've got, I don't know if I get Explorer on Ubuntu.
Oh no, I don't believe so. You probably need a Windows machine for that.
I do
And
have
nobody.
Windows, but I don't know how to start it up though on Windows. Let me just check.
Are you running Ubuntu as a virtual machine or something, or do you have
Yeah,
a?
as my virtual machine. As a
Oh, I
virtual
see.
machine.
Yeah, how to change your app on Windows, your IE, to point to something on your VM? I don't know how to do that.
I'll scroll.
Yeah, he
I'll
probably would know how to do that.
Yeah, I'll chat to him about that. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it looks like we've got it. We can skip the whole file copying business. Don't need to do that. This is great. We've got it working. So looks like you can continue on. What I'd suggest on this download resume button, by the way, if you can make it smaller, it may have to be that big.
Smaller?
What's that?
Okay. Okay, it was small. I know we had made it small, but it just me being
Yeah, why did it?
designer made it a bit bigger because you kind of miss it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, well, maybe
So
it's okay to leave it that way.
that's why I did it, because it was quite thin.
Ah,
And
okay, well, maybe
like
leave it that way then.
when you see this now, it's the first thing that your eye sees before it moves over to reading the rest of the content.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's leave it that way then. Okay. It's much more, it definitely pops, doesn't it? Okay, cool. Well, made some progress then.
Just need to do testing now, so that's great.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just need to do acceptance
Yeah, I think
tests and
you're
scenarios.
you're rescuing an exception. We're not rescuing specific exceptions and trying to figure out what's going on specifically, but that's probably okay now. We're just rescuing and we're just saying we can't find the resume. We may fail for exceptions otherwise, like send data fails, things like that. So you may want to do some research on that. What are the ways that your begin block could fail? And see if you could differentiate what exception occurred if you have to actually rescue an exception. Because right now, let's say send data fails because some transmission problem or something happened. Yet the message that we portray is only resume not found, which may be misleading. You may be fine with the resume, but there may be something else going on. Let's see if you can come up with that.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, since you've gained time now, but in the meantime, like you said, continue with building tests and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Great.
All right. Sorry it took me so long to get acclimated, but I had to wrap my head around this thing again.
It's good. Yeah, it's fine. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I guess we'll call it quits then, and we'll connect up probably tomorrow on the Martin Fowler Scrum.
Fantastic.
All right.
Yes. Keep well.
All right. Take care. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye now.